Okay, so just want to spend some time on a few things. So when a new listing is obtained, okay, there's like phase 1, 2, and 3, phase A, B, and C. Okay, phase A is we let everybody know here this is coming. Before we put a sign in the yard, before we begin pre-marketing this property, if we know about this for a week ahead of time, we can internally show it and sell it, put it to close before we begin marketing it. I don't think we all understand that. Okay, so if you have a listing opportunity that hits today, but the coming soon isn't going till Monday, that's why I sent it all to you guys, right? If you have someone, let me know. I'll set up a show and go, and right, if your buyer wants to buy it before we begin pre-marketing it, we can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Make sense, everybody? The beginning, the moment we begin marketing the home, meaning the signs in the yard, marketing does all their stuff, concierge does their stuff, right, sign, blah, blah, we have to follow through. What that means is Garage wants us to play fair, and you can't put a sign in the yard, have something coming for soon, and the other agent goes, oh, I'm excited, I saw it on Facebook, or something, right, and then, oh, now we sell this, sorry. We have to follow through with it actually comes for sale. And does that make sense what I'm trying to say, everybody?
Is there a form or anything, like if, let's say with this one that you just listed, is there something we need to then have them sign saying, you know what I mean, just again, that they're agreeing to sell it pre-listing or whatever?
They've signed the listing agreement.
Right, but that's what I mean, is there something separate that needs to be
No.
signed? Okay, I didn't know if it just so they kind of like with the, you know, like a dual agency, which obviously we don't do, but if that was in, you know, I didn't know if you needed anything.
Technically speaking, their listing agreement isn't in force yet because the date didn't start yet
Okay.
when we're going live, right? But in their mind, it's listed, right? And so when like if Jonathan would have a buyer for this new listing that I just promoted this morning, he would write the offer. I would probably counter to say seller agrees to pay $495 plus 7% commission, blah, 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 right? Because that's contractual, because it's way before the listing agreement actually signs, right? So we'll cover us to make sure we get paid, but to say there's no, and that's like walking up to a fish bowl. Brought you a buyer.
Can I ask the question?
Of course.
So if that happened, that scenario happens, do you want to hold the listing until, like I've done it both ways before, where you put it on pending and pend it right away and do like a sold before broadcast?
Yep.
And then wait till it's closed, or do you want it to close first before you put it on sold before broadcast?
No, we can do it right away.
You want it right when it goes pending?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because that's our contract.
Okay.
Yeah. So the listing agent, what she's talking about in that case, once it's in a contract, buyer and seller all agreed and
It never went live,
never went live.
so you make it live and then you go back in as soon as it's
That
live
same
and you
day
make
and
it
pend it.
pend it.
Yeah.
So that you don't get any showings and no requests and
It-
people aren't allowed to come back.
Yep, it helps with appraisals, it helps with tracking, it helps with your numbers. If I got one more sale on Garage, all kinds of things. So. Yep. Okay, so that's phase 1. Okay, and if we're really good and intentional about sending emails, and I didn't fill out the forms. But fill out the new listing company form. Do as I say. Do as I say, not as I do.
So do I still have to go in and do that now, or is somebody gonna fill me in once you get in there?
Well, yeah, we'll take it.
Like,
This is it, we're in transition, but
Jason, give me.
But my bad is I didn't fill out the new listing, right? Coming soon listing Excel sheet. Anyway, so so then once we begin marketing it, then we have to put it for sale. Okay, we're kind of accountable for that. Okay, that's just the way it is. That's okay. Okay, so phase 1, pre, we get an insider scoop, we can put it together and sell it prior to. Communicate it out. Okay, then it's the pre-listing, the coming soon, okay? We're doing all kinds of things, we're mixing some things up. I'm marketing to make the phone ring even more, I just got curious about that this morning. We're gonna give them less information and more fun stuff that they want to call us. Okay. And then obviously going live and open houses
And also something too, just something I've noticed, at least in the last like 4 or 5 examples that we've had. When we've really done a good job with advertising and doing that pre-listing marketing, we've gotten some high quality buyers. I mean, you had one that wrote an offer on Phil's property. Jonathan's gonna be showing Leslie's property because she couldn't make it to the open house on Saturday, tomorrow. So there have been actual good, tangible, quality customers that, you know, in turn, we can then have as clients, whether it's for that property or just later on, finding a different one in the case like Cindy's. I'm blanking, there was another one too, recently that happened as well. So yeah, the pre-listing marketing is bringing forth results. Absolutely it is.
We believe, okay. In today's market especially, because it's a seller's market, meaning there's not a lot of inventory, okay. A new listing should bring you 4 new buyers and 1 new listing. Meaning 4 new buyer clients and then 1 additional new listing should come from. If you're doing the pre-marketing, during marketing and post-marketing well on a listing. It's called listing squeezation. You're squeezing out every opportunity out of that home because there's not a lot of homes for sale. Okay, yes, ma'am.
So what is the? I don't know the correct word, expectation, obligation, desire, I don't know what it is. For a listing agent as far as that marketing goes, what involvement does the listing agent have in all of that? Like, is that,
You're doing nothing more than what you have been doing. So the minute you, like today, I got doc signed from that gal. So I shot up an email. This one's coming. Here's the dates. Here's what's coming soon. We got someone now. We can get them in there. That's just it.
okay, and I
That's
guess,
going to marketing so that they have the bullet points of information.
so as far as once it's listed, the marketing department takes over on that, like. I guess I'll talk later.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, in this conversation, Leslie, I'm not adding anything to what we're already doing.
We're just simplifying the phases and steps of it.
Yeah, I think the opportunity that I don't think we understood was before we begin to market the home in our coming soon agreement. If we know something is coming for sale for 5 days before that. Like I have one for one of Cindy's listings coming up. I could get him to get his tax returns completed and sent over to Jerry. We'd be writing her an offer. Okay, and I'm
It's
working,
not on the market yet.
it's not on the market yet. I'm diligently working with this guy, and I said it to all you, is that house, that property and door.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to be doing that. It's just a matter of getting my buyer off this tush to go to his account and his freaking tax returns. So anyway, that's the opportunity I don't want us to make sure we miss. That we very well, you could have a buyer for Michelle's new listing and we just put it together and sold before broadcast, and it's a huge opportunity for everybody. Now, you have to make sure, the only thing that is different is you need to make sure you set proper expectation with that seller, okay? So like in Cindy's case, like if I wrote her a full price offer, right? And she's presenting, she should be saying to
Diane.
Pardon?
Diane.
She should be saying something to Diane, saying, now Diane, you don't have to take this, right? I mean, we can, like, you have 3 options: accept, deny, or counter, right? Accept, deny, or counter. Okay. Maybe it's possession, maybe she wants another month of possession because that's important to her, make sure, right? But if she can counter it and she's happy with it, great. Phase 2 of setting proper expectations and saying, oh, Dan, I just need to tell you, this is a good offer, he's working with you, if we put this together, great. You are, by accepting this offer, you are removing our marketing, our processes, our open house, or now, that doesn't mean there's a guarantee you're gonna get more for the home than what you just had. But I just want to make sure you're comfortable and understanding you're not going to get any of that. This is just, you're choosing to work with this guy, this potential buyer, right? Like there needs to be communication, something to that effect. So,
You know, she's not getting open houses and people coming through her house and things like that.
which
So,
could be a positive
maybe
or a
she likes
negative,
it, yeah.
depending on who they are, right? I think it's important to tell people right? So that they're not, so that they just understand their options and understand what that looks like.
Some people think that the market will draw multiple bids, so you're removing that opportunity also.
The potential from,
That's what I'm saying,
Yes.
yeah.
you are removing any potential for multiple bids,
But
correct?
it's not a guarantee, but there's
Nothing is
a potential
guaranteed.
for that.
Yep. So you just gotta make sure you set proper expectations with it. Is this making sense, everybody?
Is there anything that if they had said they do the 7%? That they'd be missing out on if they did that they'd still have to pay extra for?
Maybe.
So if you're doing like is that a listing book right there?
Buy.
Okay.
I see what she's saying.
Is
So
it-
between the 6% and the 7%, there's a whole list of marketing things that we're doing under the 7%.
Mhm.
So what happens if none of that is done?
Mhm.
Like, they're still paying for it even though we never did it?
Or would we do 6?
Well, it's all the numbers, right? So here's the deal. I'm bringing Diane, like Cindy would sit out there and say, hey. With this offer, they're asking for the 7% and the $4.95. Here's the net sheet. Here's how you're gonna net out. Are you happy with that? That's the presentation, right? This is what it looks like. Most people, like my gal today. Now, we're doing the 7%, right? So, yeah. What's the 6% again? Oh, never mind. I know 7% is gonna bring me more value. We're good. Right, so it's just presenting it. This is, and here's in that sheet, that's 7, blah, blah. And if then they bring it up. Okay. I'll let Phil answer this question, but if they bring it up. Well, I wanna only pay the 6%. So say it's a $400,000 listing, so that's 1%, so that's $4,000. I brought you a $400,000 offer at 7%, you want an extra $4,000 in your pocket, right? Right. Bill, how would you handle that?
Tell them to counter by $4,000.
Boom, bingo. Then you counter the offer at 404. And everybody gets paid what they deserve. Everybody's happy, they're getting what they want, the buyer's still gonna be tickled pink because it's a great value, because you showed them how it's great value.
Did I represent your question?
Yes, thank you.
Make sense though?
Mhm.
So it's all just laying it out, you're not trying to be funny or difficult, but guys, you deserve 7%.
Well, and let the net sheet speak for itself. Here's the numbers.
Right, that's what Diane, that's what Darlene, I'm talking today's Darlene said. You know,
I realized you spoke with my mom this morning.
yeah, she's selling her house with me.
Damn.
Wasn't even a-
I just sold her the house last year. Good lord.
Okay, so that I wanted to just communicate some things about listings coming soon, what that looks like.